Section 13.
Details, yeah.
I'm not going to give you it, and I've got a good reason.
Yeah, I do.
Right, okay. So, alright, you're going to have to arrest me because I'm not going.
This episode is brought to us by Autistic Audits. Be sure to check the link below, subscribe to his channel, and give him the credit he deserves. In this episode, Autistic Audits is standing on a public pavement filming a building. Nothing concealed, nothing unlawful. Officers approach already suggesting he has committed an offense. Yet not one of them can clearly identify what that offense is. No legislation, no section, just vague allegations and confidence unsupported by facts. What follows is a textbook example of policing by assumption, where lawful activity is treated as suspicious conduct and legitimate questions are met with escalating pressure.
We had a report of somebody acting suspiciously, matching the description down at the industrial estate just off of Bodwell Road.
Suspiciously?
Yeah.
That's not a crime, is it?
Well, they've obviously asked us to come and make sure everything's okay. Apparently the person was filming in their windows.
That actually wouldn't be against the law, would it, either, because it's in a public place?
Well, it depends on what they were doing. Obviously, that's why we're not accusing you of a crime. We're just here to basically see what was happening.
Yeah,
Are you filming for any purpose? Was it yourself?
I can't sort of confirm that because it's my first time I've been here, so I wouldn't actually know.
Right. Have you been filming in people's windows today?
I wouldn't say windows specifically, but I have been filming.
Okay, right. Was it in about the grounds at the business park, just kind of behind these buildings?
Again, it's really difficult for me to confirm, honestly, because it's the first time I've been here.
Right.
But I have been filming around, and I've been quite pleasant to people.
Okay. Sure.
And I haven't broken any laws, I promise you that.
If you're not, then that's fair enough. Do you mind me asking why you were filming? Like, was there a reason behind it?
Just sort of public interest.
This is where the entire encounter begins on the wrong footing. The officers approach because they have received a report claiming he is acting suspiciously. Yet the only behavior identified is filming an industrial estate from a public pavement. That is not a criminal offense, nor is it inherently suspicious. It is simply a description of an activity, not evidence of wrongdoing. Autistic Audits calmly explains that he has remained polite, has not approached anyone, and has broken no laws. That should have been the end of the matter. A report from a member of the public does not lower the legal threshold. It does not transform lawful conduct into criminal behavior simply because someone felt uncomfortable or concerned.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Are you aware of kind of what's housed in that building down there? The one that you were filming right now?
Again,
obviously I appreciate this.
Again, that you put me there, and I'm saying I don't know whether I was there or whether I wasn't there, because I've never been to Hamilton before.
Right, okay.
And I've been here, there and everywhere, and I'm quite confused as to where I actually have. So you keep saying that I was there, and what I'm doing down there, and as far as I'm concerned, I haven't committed any crime.
Okay. The reason I say yourself, is the description has been passed, it's matched yourself to a T, and the fact of age.
Right, but there's still not. You've still not described the criminal offence to me.
I'm not saying there is a criminal offence.
Right then, so what we're talking about
is that we're currently investigating something. Someone's reported somebody filming in their windows in a suspicious manner that they believe they may have been there to commit a crime.
Right. So what crime was that then?
Well, that's why we're here to try and find out what's happened, to see if there has been a crime committed.
No, absolutely not. There's no crime. I wouldn't commit a crime.
Obviously, we don't know that until we spoke to everybody involved.
Yeah. Well, that's it.
That's obviously why we're doing that.
This exchange completely exposes the weakness of the stop. Autistic Audits does exactly what any reasonable person should do. He asks a straightforward and lawful question. What criminal offense are you referring to? The officer immediately begins to backtrack, admitting that he has not actually stated there is one. That contradiction is significant. You cannot question someone on the basis of criminal suspicion while simultaneously acknowledging that no offense has been identified. It reveals the real issue at the heart of the encounter. The officer is not investigating a crime. He is fishing for information. The repeated questioning is not aimed at clarifying an offense. It is an attempt to pressure him into saying something that can later be interpreted in a different light.
You said this is the first time that you've been in Hamilton. I take it you don't live locally?
No, not locally, no.
Okay. Is there a kind of reason that you travelled to Hamilton today? Is it just the film, or?
Do I have to answer these questions? Because I don't think.
No,
I don't think that I do, unless that you're going to detain me or whatever. Because this is not turning out very nice.
Right. I'm not sure if you're aware of what happened in terms of it's going mostly for us to investigate the crime.
Right.
We no longer kind of detain people in relation to kind of Section
Right, then I
50 is
don't
what it
want
used
to
be.
ask. I don't want to answer any more questions because I think I've reassured you enough. Right, that you haven't actually described a crime to me, and I haven't committed a crime. So therefore, I've answered your questions, and I'm going to go now because you said I've not been detained.
Well, I'm
Okay,
not saying you're
so
not detained. What I'm saying is that we're still trying
right,
to gather.
am I being detained? If I'm being detained, tell me. If not, I'm going.
As explained to you, it's
Am I being detained? Am I being detained?
That's what I'm trying to explain.
Right, I'm going then. Then tell me. Then tell me that I'm being detained.
You're not being detained. That's
Right, then I'm going then.
This is where the officers effectively talk themselves into a corner. They continue questioning him, but when he asks the crucial question, "Am I detained?" they answer no. That response matters. If he is not detained and no offense has been identified, then the interaction is entirely voluntary. At that stage, continuing to question him is not an investigation. It is persistence without legal authority. He is not being difficult by choosing to disengage. He is responding logically to the legal position the officers themselves have created. Either identify a lawful power or allow him to continue on his way. Their inability to do either makes it increasingly clear that this is not policing driven by evidence or reasonable suspicion.
Then I don't need to stop. By law, I do not need to stop. I don't need to stop.
That's what I'm trying to explain.
That would be assault, wouldn't it?
It wouldn't be assault, no, because I'm
It would
allowed
be.
to actually stop you. All right.
But I'm not detained. I don't need to stop.
No, that's what we're trying
No,
to
you're not listening. I don't need to stop because I'm not being detained. You just said I'm not being detained, so I'm free to leave. I'm free to leave.
You're not
I'm free to leave. Then I'm being detained.
To you, okay. What we're trying to do just now is establish that
Then
there's been a crime committed, okay?
No, that you're trying to detain me
I'm not.
without detaining me.
No,
You are.
I'm not.
You are.
I'm
So what section of law have you got me to stand here now for? What is it?
Hasn't explained. That's what I'm trying.
Which section of law?
Well, all right. At this moment in time, there's been a report to us that somebody.
Which section of law?
Again, so that's what I'm trying to explain.
What's
to you, and you're
what's the
speaking
crime?
over me. All right. This is
No,
crime
it's
section 57 that someone's been
57?
with the
What
purpose
is?
they may have been there to commit theft.
57. What is?
All right.
What's 57?
I'll explain everything to you. I don't mind.
No,
That's
what
the
is
problem.
section 57?
It's that somebody may be there within the curtilage of a building with the intention of committing a crime, as in theft.
But
all right.
What stands out here is how the officers attempt to justify their actions without ever grounding them in anything concrete. Saying, "We're establishing whether a crime has been committed," is not a legal justification. It is an admission that they do not actually know whether any offense exists. Policing is not supposed to operate in reverse, where someone's freedom is interrupted while officers decide whether they can justify it afterward. Then comes a reference to Section 57, which exposes a knowledge gap entirely. Section 57 does not create a police power. It is a definitional section within the Terrorism Act that explains the meaning of terrorism. It provides no stop power, no detention authority, and no legal basis to surround or restrain an individual. The fact that an officer relies on it and then struggles to explain how it applies demonstrates that this was not a minor mistake. It was an unsupported guess.
But has anything been reported
Yes.
stolen?
No, not stolen yet.
So
but
nothing,
it's not theft.
nothing's been stolen.
Crime isn't theft, sir. All right. That's
So what
I'm
is the
trying to
crime?
explain to you.
What is the crime?
The crime is that somebody may be in the curtilage of that area with the intention to commit theft. All right, and that's.
And do you believe that?
At this moment in time, I don't have enough information to believe or disbelieve it. But what's been reported to me is that someone's been.
Right, well, I can't help you with that. I can't help you with that.
Well, that's
All
fine.
I can say is that I've been filming,
Yep.
right, and that's not sort of suspicious because it's a lawful activity.
And that's why we
Okay, and I've only been in a publicly accessible place with no signs around or anything like that.
Right.
So I've not committed any offences, and I have no
But
criminal
even if it is a
intent
public
whatsoever.
place, even if it is a public place, all right, that crime can still be committed, and that's why I'm explaining.
But it's not though, because there has been no crime, because I haven't committed a crime.
Such times as we investigate.
You're saying that you have suspicion,
Yeah, someone
Right.
has phoned us
Well-
to say that they're suspicious of that.
right?
activity.
But
They believe
suspicion
that
is not a crime.
This is a point where the reasoning completely falls apart. The officer shifts to the subject of theft, only to be asked the obvious question. Has anything actually been stolen? He is forced to admit that the answer is no. The allegation then changes once again. Now, the issue is no longer theft, but the possibility that someone may intend to commit a crime in the future. That is not how policing is supposed to work. Autistic Audits dismantles the argument with a single observation. Suspicion is not a crime. And that is precisely why this justification fails. Suspicion is something officers may act upon within the limits of the law, not something that automatically establishes guilt. You do not surround, restrict, or escalate against a person simply because you are uncomfortable with what they might potentially do.
And I haven't done anything. But I haven't done anything. So what grounds have you got then to hold me now?
Well, that's why we were speaking.
What grounds have you got? Just tell me your grounds.
Because you're potentially a suspect of a crime.
Potentially a suspect of a
That's
crime.
why we were speaking to you.
That's not been committed because nothing has actually happened. They've just said that there's somebody, filming.
We understand people don't usually go in and film in people's windows, so it arouses people's suspicions. It's not something that everybody does every day. I appreciate there may be valid
People don't
reasons
play
for it.
football every day, but it's a lawful experience.
They do play
Well, not
football
everybody
every day,
plays football, do they? Not everybody
that.
plays rugby, not everybody goes bungee
How
jumping.
often do people come and film in your windows? I can't imagine very regularly.
No,
Right, so that's
I wouldn't go filming in anybody else's personal windows either.
Well, that's
So
why
I think that
people
you're...
have been concerned.
No, I don't think so.
Well, they have. That's,
Because-
I'm telling you, they have.
What, in
It's not-
somebody's house?
No, I'm telling you, those people have been concerned that you're filming in the windows of that business premises.
Then it's not a criminal offence. I'm
Not
sorry,
you're right,
you are
filming-
not.
you're right,
You are
filming in
not.
somebody's window
You've not
isn't-
described anything which is a criminal offence to me.
When asked to provide grounds, the officer responds by saying, "You're potentially a suspect of a crime." That statement alone highlights a serious misunderstanding of police powers. A person does not become a suspect merely because an officer feels uncertain. Equally, legal grounds cannot be built upon an event that has not occurred. Policing does not operate on the basis of potential...
Explain the reason.
No, you haven't.
All right.
You have not described a criminal offence or the grounds, and you've detained me. You stopped me from leaving,
Yep.
right? So then that you've detained me as far as I'm concerned.
Well, so that's what I was trying to explain to you. It's not that I've detained to you, alright?
You have detained. Right, I'm free to leave then, am I? I'm free
No,
to
you're not.
leave. Look at you, so I'm not free to leave.
No, because
so you've
under
detained me
Section 13
then.
of the Criminal Procedure Scotland Act, I'm going to require you to
Section
provide me your
13.
details, yeah?
I'm not going to give you it, and I've got a good reason.
Yeah, I do.
Right,
Uh-huh.
okay.
At this
So,
time, you've
alright,
been
you're going to have to arrest me.
Right,
because
okay.
I'm not going.
Just pop this down for me so I can place some handcuffs on you.
The encounter ultimately ends with an arrest despite there being no clearly articulated lawful basis for one. That is the point at which poor policing becomes a legal issue. Officers can debate suspicion for as long as they like, but the moment they escalate to an arrest they cannot justify, the matter moves beyond opinion and into evidence. When a viewer later asks how the situation is progressing, Autistic Audits gives a simple response: ongoing. That remains the only update provided since the incident. This is one of those encounters that requires no embellishment because the facts speak for themselves. Officers begin with nothing concrete, convince themselves that suspicion exists, and then escalate when that suspicion never develops into an identifiable offense. Questions replace legal grounds. Authority replaces legislation. And when challenged, pressure replaces reasoned justification. That is how you arrive at an arrest without ever being able to clearly explain why it was necessary. And that is why this incident did not end on the pavement. Once it crossed into the territory of an allegedly unlawful arrest, it ceased to be a debate and became a legal matter. It serves as a clear example of what can happen when officers rely on assumptions rather than properly articulated grounds. It may appear controlled in the moment, but that approach rarely withstands scrutiny afterward. That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me continue my independent coverage. Also, don't forget to check out Autistic Audits. His channel is linked in the description, so be sure to show him some support. Thanks for watching. This was British Police Hub, and I'll see you in the next one.